Hi guys, welcome back to another video.
If I was the student, would you be the teacher? If I was the sinner, would you be the preacher? Would you be my... It's the done. I still got a lot of shit to learn.
So as you can see, this is going to be another working with turbo video, and right there I just thought I'd note something. He did move his mouth and try to nibble the target again, but then he came back and did it nicely. So we have been working on that a lot, and as you can see, we're now out of protected contact. So this was his second session out of protected contact in his paddock. So my first session in there was about 5 minutes long, and then this session was quite a long session. It was about 15 minutes, and I introduced for the first time to him putting the target closer to the ground, so he had to bend down to try and touch it, which he found quite confusing. So as you can see, we are still really working on him trying to touch it without his lips moving, which I accidentally rewarded him for touching it with his lips moving then. But then this time he actually does it so nicely, and he doesn't move his lips at all, so that was very good. And he did have one moment actually through this session where he bit the bottle and fully bit it, and now my bottle is bitten, so that's great. No, but that's okay. He's learning, and here he actually tries to move his lips and then he stops, and my click was actually on time, so that was good. He's also gotten very good at standing nicely, or manners, or whatever you want to call it, and usually he'll put his head right to the side straight away, so he's gotten very good at that.
Good. Good, man.
Another thing we've been working on is getting him to step back and put his head up when getting a treat. Like right here, he did a little step back, whereas usually he just tries to curl his neck round to reach my hand. So he's getting that slowly. So it's funny because when I'm standing next to him, he understands good manners really well, but when I'm in front, he doesn't understand it as well. So we're still, and here he actually takes the treat really well. He steps back and doesn't curl his neck at all. Anyway, so when I'm just standing in front of him, he doesn't understand good manners as well, I guess because I didn't reinforce it as much in the beginning. So we work on that a lot, and just getting, as soon as he turns his head away, I clicked like there. There was actually horses right behind him, just there on the other side of the fence, so that's why he's pinning his ears back a couple times. You might see him do it like right there. He's definitely not happy about that.
Good.
So right here, when I was waiting for him to move his head away from me, my click was a fraction of a second too late, and I just thought I'd point it out because it's really important to have a fine line for your horses so that they know exactly what you're asking for them. So I clicked it just as he was moving his head towards me, which is probably saying to him that it's unclear whether I want him to have his head coming towards me or away from me, so that's just really important to watch. I'm probably doing a really bad job at explaining. I've been editing since 12 p.m. and it's now 11:20 p.m. at night, and oh my gosh, I'm about to die, but I just want to get all these videos done. So anyway, that's why I'm probably really bad at explaining stuff today.
Touch. Good boy. Good.
Here he puts his head really nice and still to the middle, and so that's why I rewarded that, because I will reward him when he has his head forward to the middle, but generally when his head's in the middle, he's moving it or trying to get my treats. So that's why usually he puts his head to the side, and that's when I reward it.
Good.
So this is where I try to start getting him to put his neck down when reaching for the target, and he got so confused. It was really interesting how much of a difference it made when he had to move his neck down to reach the target, and he would just start offering good manners and biting the stick and biting the target, and he did eventually get better, but yeah, it was really interesting to see how much of a difference it made when the target was just a tiny bit lower. I think he was also getting quite confused because he touched it a few times but his lips were moving, and then here he kind of half touches the stick, half touches the bottle, and his lips were moving a little bit, but it was the best one he'd done so far, and I just wanted him to have a success because he had been trying for quite a while and he was getting a bit annoyed. So I think the first few times that he touched it while it was lower down, he was moving his lips a little bit and I still rewarded him, but he was taking a long time to finally touch it. So when he did touch it, I just wanted to get into his head that he had to touch it, and then I would work on getting his lips still again, and they were still when I moved the bottle up, so it was just him getting confused when it was going lower down. He was also getting really annoyed by the flies, and that's why he's stomping and shaking his head and tail, which was getting in the way a bit and it was kind of distracting him. And he does have a fly rug now that I got one a few days after this.
Touch. Touch. Good. Touch. Good. Touch. Good.
So this is where he fully bites the bottle, but then he holds his nose on there really nice and still.
Good.
So as you can see, he really picks up touching the target lower down so much quicker now compared to at the beginning of the video. And during this session, I was getting a bit fed up with how slow he was taking to learn and all the flies annoying him. And it was really quite unfair because it was a new thing for him, and looking back at the videos, he actually did a lot better at the end of the session compared to his first few times at doing it lower down. So you just have to remember it's baby steps. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm sorry if my talking was really just bad because I'm so tired. Like I said, I've been editing for hours and hours, and it's like 12 o'clock at night now. So I'm gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.
Good boy.